have good news. We have bad news. We have good news again.
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
What a week it has been. It is. You have no idea, from sitting back there behind in the safe place behind your headphones, listening to what we do. Sometimes it just seems so easy, but man, this is one of those weeks that's been crazy. We had cancellations. We have differences. We had plan Bs, plan Cs, everything like that. But we got here. We're in studio. We have our microphones, and we're going to do a show. So everybody, as always, I am the one ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating moron ranting about opinions that I have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. As you know, our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture, as impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, we have some very important news to share with you. I am going to pull back the curtain. That's one of my favorite terms here for the show, and bring back somebody we have not really heard from for a while. We've heard him in post-production from time to time, but actually live in real life, it has been a while. Everybody put your hands together for the one, the only Engineer Adam. Yeah! Woo.
I've got a microphone now.
You do have a microphone now. So you're joining us again, which is awesome. You had a brand new job that took you away from us in studio, and then a turn of events. We've obviously, for those people who are following along with the show, have noticed that Victor hasn't been on the show for a while. Yeah, he has a child that he's been dealing with. We've kind of said that over and over
Just
again.
still weird.
Yeah, it is. It's strange, right? There should be a law about that, you think. Some kind of Victor can't have a baby law.
I think that was just called common sense.
Yeah, that used to be. That's how that works. But we have actually more news, which is fantastic. It's really great news for the most part. The great news is Victor has actually been accepted into a graduate program. So he's getting his graduate degree. Yay! Good job, Victor. So we sat.
Way to not suck.
Yeah, I know, right? He's way smarter than both of us combined, is what we're learning. And
Well, I've already got my master's degree, so he's catching up to me.
Oh, well, there you go. See, I've got no degree. I've got an
Yeah, but his degree is going to be something a lot more useful than audio engineering.
Well, not for our podcast, it won't be.
Valid.
So needless to say, with already a baby stretching him thin, and then a master's program that he's going to be taking on, we are not going to be hearing from Victor for a while. He is stepping down. He has regretfully let us know that he will no longer be co-hosting the show.
How could this happen to me?
So the good news, maybe he'll come on from time to time as a guest, depending on how things go. But the really exciting news is because summer has hit and the hours have changed somewhat for your job. You, Engineer Adam's going to be sitting in and being our guest co-host for the summer.
Please don't just immediately shut down the podcast. I promise I'll be good.
You're gonna try and fill Victor's shoes, which is probably not that hard, right? I mean, he hasn't been here for like 2 months.
Yeah, so it's been enough time for people to kind of forget what he was like,
right?
And I'll seem good by comparison.
Exactly. We've created a palate cleanser, so that's what the goal was here. So this is exciting. You obviously have just an amazing work making sure that our podcast sounds as professional as an idiot in a basement could sound, and bringing local music and art out to the masses. And now we're gonna get to have you back on the show to hear your vocal stylings and your incredible wit. So I'm glad to have you back. So without further ado, I want to talk about a very interesting thing that has happened here in the last few weeks. Now,
I've been listening to all the shows because I mix them.
Yeah.
Is this going to be about hockey?
It is going to be about hockey. It has to be.
I called it.
The Washington Capitals are in the Stanley Cup Finals, and part of the reason I wanted to bring that up is because, first of all, super great. Like, this is fantastic for all hockey players or hockey fans out there. I'm sure the players are really happy about it as well. But we haven't had a championship in any sport for like 20 years, so there's a chance. And the really interesting thing is as you guys know, we actually pre-record this show and release it later. That way Adam has time to mix things and all the different things. And if the band doesn't get us their track in time, we can get that. So we're
God, bands, just get your tracks in on
yeah,
time,
please. God, it's not hard. But here's the fascinating thing, and that is that we're recording right now. The Caps won Game 4. It is 3-1. There's a good chance that the Caps could win the Stanley Cup, but this actual show doesn't go out until after the next 3 games have been played. So right now, I'm going to sound excited. I'm going to sound confident. I'm going to be like, I got a really good feeling about this. But literally
But by the time you, dear listener, listen to this, he may be just under his desk weeping like a small child.
Yeah, exactly. Literally the first person who listens to this show could be like, oh, you sad son of a bitch. You were so wrong. So wrong.
You were so naive,
Yes.
so full of hope.
But that's it, right? There's a moment right now where we're on the verge, right? We're ahead. We can live this dream. Even if we end up losing it for a moment, we can feel like, wow, this is kind of cool that this is happening. Right. And so I don't know. I'm really excited about it. I'm not going to go into great like hockey detail because that's not what this show is really about. But I really like the Capitals' chances. I think Alex Ovechkin, after a decade of being told that he can't win anything, is just not going to be stopped. I think at some point in time, when he scores goals now, or anybody on the team scores a goal, it's not even like a celebration. He just primally screams, right? Like he just, right? Like there's not even like smiles. It's just, oh, I need to eat someone's soul, right? Like, so I think it's gonna happen. But again, the moment this comes out, we will already know, and you can make fun of me if I was wrong. The thing I do think is really interesting is we try to talk about DC culture and arts and things like that. There's a fascinating emergence of a culture here. Like just like 2 months ago, if I had said like, hey, Caps hockey, everyone in the room would be like, no, I know that is a thing. Right, like I know that exists.
I know it exists.
Right.
I think my school took me to a game one time.
Yeah.
They lost.
Yeah, like it's just now people are like, I'm not a big hockey fan, but tell me about hockey. Right? Like
or the people that are like, no, I've been a hockey fan my entire life. I've had this jersey my whole life. I've always loved them.
Yeah, and so it's just fascinating. I had a coworker today go like, okay, so explain to me what icing is, right? Like, and I want to be like, this isn't a
You put it on a cake.
Yeah. I'm like, this isn't the time to start learning, right? Like you had decades to get up to this point. Now you're supposed to just enjoy the ride at this point. But it's just amazing. You look at
just scream when everyone else around you screams, boo when everyone else around you boos. You'll do fine.
Just get on the actual like roller coaster and just ride it at this point. But they have pictures from outside the stadium, and it's like a 3-block area filled with people wearing jerseys. And I want to be like, there's no way that many jerseys have been sold. Like, you're not fooling me. Something's been photoshopped, or like maybe you've copy and pasted people or something.
Or the guy selling the $5 knockoff jerseys is just making a fucking killing.
Something's happening. But it's fascinating. It's exciting. And people are coming together for it. I hope that they get it. I think if they beat the Las Vegas Golden Knights, I might adopt that team as like a West Conference fan, because I like their story a lot, and I'll genuinely feel bad for them that they don't win. I will be angry with them if they do win, but I will genuinely feel sorrow for them if they don't win. So I hope that they do get one soon, just not this year. Before we move on to our next segment, I do want to mention real quick, we have some other news that we didn't mention coming into this. Victor's going to be away. You're going to be joining us for the summer. Also, because of your new job, you moved up to near Baltimore and you bought a new place. And that new place now includes a studio, right?
Yep, where I am recording from at this moment.
So a lot of people will know that at the end of the shows, you'll hear me say like, hey, thanks to Kevin Eminger and McNally22 and Justin Rogers and Figmental Records and Alchemical Records and Engineer Adam for all their contributions. I say that almost all the time if I have time. Figmental Records is a record company that I launched years ago to release my band's music and the music of some of our friends that was defunct for a while. And then now we're releasing the podcast through Figmental Records. But we're going to add to that. We're like relaunching the company, which is really exciting. We have Figmental Printing that's always been around, but now we're looking at doing Figmental Studios, which is going to be run by Adam. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing up there. What's the plan for Figmental Studios?
Well, right now we're still in like the pre-production phase, but the eventual idea is I've got contacts kind of around the area with some other guys building out spaces or have their own recording rooms and whatnot. And we're just trying to get everything linked together so that if someone comes up and wants to do a project and it's like, okay, well, instead of one person trying to have everything, like, okay, well, I know a guy that's got a great drum room. I know a guy that's got a great, big live room for big bands, and then it can all come back here, and we can mix and master and edit all from here. Just start trying to get some cool acts through.
And I think that that's such an interesting idea because for a few reasons. One, you don't have to have a huge, expensive space that accommodates every type of music and every type of instrument, right? And then
no.
So that means that you can have specialized, smaller spaces for that instrument, which makes them great, right? Like having a drum room that's made to be a drum room that's owned by a drummer who loves recording drums, right? You're going to get great.
Will always sound better than your unfinished basement.
Yeah, exactly. It's always going to sound better than the guy who does drums because really what he wants to do is mix, right? And so, so that's a really interesting concept. And then what that does is just like this show where we're trying to take local music and local arts and kind of get it heard. This is going to allow the organization of these project studios to come together and actually have a price point that local musicians can get great music, great recordings, and start hopefully getting noticed on a larger scene than just in the DC area. So I think it's super exciting, and hopefully we'll be telling you more about this in the coming months. If you happen to be an artist who's listening to our show, feel free to drop us an email at contact@anotherwastedhour, and we'll forward you over to the new Figmental Studios once they're up and running. And so without further...
Or even before we're fully up and running, as you can hear right now, this room is open and available.
Yeah, so we've got mixing and mastering happening already, but the full suite of things is coming along. So yeah, drop us a line. So that is all of the news so far. Without further ado, that means we should move on to the weather report to find out if there's more news that we need to take care of. So Adam, I'm not even going to go into all of this. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to make you the editor-in-chief of a publication. You're going to let us know if it's in or out. So without further ado, let's do this. You ready?
Alrighty. Yes, do
Remember,
it.
at the end, we do need the name of your publication.
I'm brainstorming right now.
All right. So here we go. Starting off out of the gates. Kathleen Demelo's obituary starts normally enough, right? Born on March 19th, 1938, married in 1957, etc., etc. If you'll indulge me, I'd like to jump to the good part. Yeah,
all right.
This Minnesota woman's obituary then goes on to say, in 1962, Kathleen became pregnant by her husband's brother, Lyle Demelo, and moved to California. It follows by saying she abandoned her children, Gina and Jay, who were then raised by her parents in Clements, Minnesota, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Schnuck. She passed away on May 31st in 2018 in Springfield, and will now face judgment. She will not be missed by by Gina and Jay, and they understand that this world is a better place without her.
Damn.
Yeah. Did not leave a good taste in her children's mouth, apparently.
Not even a tiny bit. Someone is real salty.
I've heard about wanting to have the last word in a conversation, but I think this might take the cake. So yeah, that is an actual obituary in the newspaper. No apologies in that one. The question is, though, is it news?
You know what? Let's go ahead and say yes. To be an inspiration for other parents, to somehow be able to leave a worse obituary after they die. Come on, be a little more creative. Got pregnant through a lover and then abandoned the kids. That's on like every episode of Law and Order.
Yeah, whatever.
You gotta one up this lady.
You're right. No, yeah.
Have a little bit more drive to being a disappointment to your family and friends.
Right. You need to be like, at age 6, his father then promptly fucked his birthday cake in front of all of the guests, and on and on and on. He without any remorse juggled hamsters, killing all of them. Yeah. No, I think there's room here. These
really made a name for himself on the donkey show scene.
Right. Yeah. I think what we need to do is just raise the bar on what we allow into the obituaries. Like, you're gonna have to step your game up,
or lower it. Really,
you know, if nobody else is there, you just get one big obituary for the one son of a bitch. And so,
all right, we got to sit down and talk how this guy fucked up.
Right.
Stay a while and listen.
All right. So that's in. Great. So we've already got one. This is good. We're off to a good start. If you've been listening over the last few weeks, you will know that we have had to warn teens not to eat Tide Pods or snort condoms. Now,
squares.
Yeah. Now the U.S. Geological Survey is having to warn Twitter not to roast marshmallows over the lava of an erupting Hawaiian volcano.
What else do you do with an erupting volcano?
You run from the erupting volcano. Yeah,
you can walk backwards at a steady pace while roasting your marshmallows. And if you trip and fall and die, well, that's just natural fucking selection.
That is true. That is what I think is the key here. Look, I understand if you don't know how to light your own campfire. It can be difficult, but this is not an alternative. All right? When asked,
I mean, not with that attitude.
Yeah, when asked if the resulting marshmallow would be safe to eat, not only did they cite the bad taste that would result due to different gases, they also warned about the quote-unquote spectacular reaction to the sulfuric acid released by the volcano if it came in contact with sugar, which now means Twitter's gonna fucking do this. Right? Like,
yeah, I'm just waiting for the video of some kid dropping sulfuric acid into a petri dish of sugar.
Right, like they just said, wait. So you're saying there's going to be a spectacular reaction? Yeah, we need to go to Hawaii now. You just fed right into what they wanted to hear. They didn't act.
In fact, actually, Keith, go ahead and just vamp for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and text my girlfriend while we're sitting here upstairs to go ahead and get out the acid and the sugar so I can try this out after the show.
So it's a different acid, just so you know, sulfuric acid. It's not the kind that you dip on the sugar. But here's the thing. Wouldn't sulfuric acid also have a spectacular reaction on your face? Like, you're on a volcano. You shouldn't be there. This isn't hard.
Yeah, but roasted marshmallows.
That is a strong argument. They are delicious. Especially if you get the outside crispy, but you haven't caught fire yet. Like, and you can pull off that layer and then do it again. It's the best.
Yeah. So I'm already going to say not news because I don't want them trying to tell me what to do.
You don't. Maybe you do the opposite and say, please.
Fake news.
Please roast. What you do is you post this saying, don't roast marshmallows. That way there's not a crowd and you get it to yourself.
Fair point.
There's parking still. All right, so not news. Fair enough. Here's the headline. Former teacher of the year arrested on sexual assault charges. Now, before we rush to judgment, I think it's important that we ask ourselves two questions. First, what subject did Spencer Heron teach? Because if it was groping and having sex with students 101, he might be up for another Teacher of the Year award. And second, is that award voted on by the students? Because maybe he's a really exceptional statutory rapist. Just saying. If they were like, actually. Oh,
he wasn't half bad.
Just Adam. Yeah, this just in. He was a broadcast video instructor. So, yeah, there goes.
Wait, that's a
that
thing?
goes the theory. Yeah, interestingly enough, that coincidentally sounds like the exact job a creepy guy would make up in order to seduce high school students. My bet is that
sounds like my job.
Yeah.
Now I'm a little worried.
My bet is that in 3 weeks, that high school is going to realize that they never had a broadcast video department, and he just he was just
They just had a
yeah.
They just had a large padded room that was really dark and soundproof.
Yeah, he was just holding up a shoebox with a crank on it and pretending like he's filming.
Or real cameras because he was filming.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think he has that kind of money. They're going to make that. You know what that's going to do though is make that Teacher of the Year award really awkward. And we're proud to give him this award for everything he's done for the school. Name one thing. Can you name? You can't. Can you? That's because he's not actually a teacher. He lives in the boiler room. So it's definitely awkward. Is it news?
No.
This just your high school career.
Yeah.
This is just all teachers.
I don't need to give other broadcast techies like myself a bad name. So fake news.
We've also determined that he may not be one. All right, fair enough. You're standing up for your own, huh?
Something
In
like that.
manner of speaking. All right, a Chinese woman pulled over for driving pink bumper car through busy traffic in Guyang. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to need you to repeat that. That sounds like way too much fun.
Yeah, so in Guyang, China, a woman was pulled over for driving a pink bumper car through busy traffic. This is safe.
Now, it's been a long time since I've been on a bumper car, but isn't there that little sparking rod up above your head touching the ceiling, and that's how it actually drives?
That was my first question is, I don't know how it moved because I don't know how things are done in China, but here in America, the ceiling needs to be electrified, right? What? Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Adam. China may have just out-America'd America. Here we are with electric amusement rides, and they're rocking a fucking Hemi. I didn't even realize this. They're out rednecking us. How did that happen?
Well, no, because to be true redneck, the ride has to be able to kill you just for touching it wrong.
Well, it's safety first, because what's safer than a bumper car? It's literally surrounded by bumpers. If you think about it, this lady's a genius, because if this trend continues, no one will ever complain about rush hour again. It'll be the happiest time of the day.
Except it'd probably be permanent rush hour because everyone's just having too much fun slamming into each other.
Road rage, no longer a thing. Just, fuck you. Boom. Yeah.
Just road giggling.
Yeah. Totally nailed that guy. So, yeah, is it news?
Yes, because I want to know how this thing worked. I want to know, is there now a line over, or did they somehow just harness electricity from the air? Because if it's the latter,
Tesla?
I want
You're
it.
saying it's Nikolai Tesla's? No, so my understanding is it's actually more of an antique one, and apparently those, let's see, doesn't say if it was battery.
What, runs on a boiler?
Yeah.
Steam-powered bumper car?
Crank-powered, and so it was a pedal car. It doesn't say if it was electric or if it was gas-powered. I don't see anything in the actual thing. There's a picture of it though. There's definitely no flag above it, that's sparking. It's running all by itself. So it's either battery powered or electric, or it's a gas, and neither one sounds like a bad idea. So we need one. So it's in. Excellent. All right, then here we go. We've got about we've got a few minutes left, I guess. So we're running over a little, I guess. Yeah, we ran over. I'm going to do speed round. We're doing speed round. I'm just going to give you some headlines. If you have questions, no problem. But otherwise, just let me know if we're going in or not and why. All right, so here we go. Amazon delivery guy hides package from woman's husband after reading a front doormat that reads, "Please hide packages from husband."
News.
Yes? All right, good.
News.
All right, next up. FBI agent loses his gun during dance floor backflip, accidentally shoots bar patron.
Definitely.
That's Dirty Dancing if I've ever heard it. All right.
It's not to say. Firearms and Saturday Night Fever do not mix.
Yeah, no, not at all. That is the forbidden dance right there, shooting people while doing it. 8th graders got an unexpected graduation gift. Bulletproof shields for high school.
What?
Yeah. So a company called Unequal Technologies donated like 10 by 12 bulletproof like panels for all of the 8th graders going into high school. And the founder who set up the donation said that they work both directions, right? So you can flip them around or whatever, and that means that the kids can either hold the shield in front of them to protect their vital organs in case somebody's shooting at them, or they could put it in their backpack to prevent from being shot when they're running away from an assailant. However, he then only gave the kids one. So that seems really fucked up, right? Like, why not give them two? I don't understand. Just give them one.
Because capitalism.
Give them one for each side. Don't make them choose which side they actually want shot. So
no, it's genius. You only give them the once, and then they want to buy the second one, and then you release like the special colors or the ones with Pokemon on them, so they have to catch them all.
Yes.
And you have a complete bulletproof accessory set.
Just the kids like, I would run away right now, except I'm holding this in front of me, and if I run away, you'll be able to shoot me. So I guess we're just going to do a face-off. Anyhow.
That's actually just sad.
It is sad.
Like, I'm trying to come up with more jokes, but that's just fucking sad.
That's what makes it funny. All right, so news or not news?
Yeah, let's make that news.
All right, it is news. All right, so next, last, final one. This is the world we live in. Israel, the country of Israel, responds with a Mean Girls gif on Twitter after Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei, I'm saying that wrong, and I know how to say it, I just can't do it right now. The Ayatollah of Iran tweets nuclear threats at them. This is a real story that happened.
Did we somehow become an inspiration to other world leaders?
Yeah, no, we've lowered the bar, and all the other countries are like, all right, fuck it, we're all tweeting now. Yeah, so the Ayatollah actually said we want to wipe Israel off of the map, and we have means in which to do that. And then Israel responded just with a Mean Girls gift that was like, why are you so obsessed with us? And that's the world. This is officially like world politics now.
Stop the world. I don't want to live on here anymore.
Is it?
I want to get off this ride.
Does it make it into your publication?
Yeah, because it's just as sad as the bulletproof kid shields.
Right.
Just for different reasons.
So we started really good. There was a lot of like good stuff, and then it just took a real dive at the end there. Real dark.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got a bunch of really great stories. As you know, your last job as editor-in-chief of this brand new publication, is naming this brand new publication. So what are we going to call this piece of crap that we've put together today?
It's got to be something along the lines of like, but now I'm sad post. Or something like I don't know. Like there's got to be like some German word for that feeling.
I like. I think Gazette would be even better there.
There you go. Yeah, Gazette.
Now I'm sad. Gazette.
Whatever the German word was for, I just wanted to read some news, but now I'm sad. Gazette.
Oh, okay. So like the bipolar Gazette.
Yeah.
The seasonal disorder Gazette. All right. So there we go. So, but now I'm sad Gazette. Everybody go check your newsstands for that because you obviously need to be sad. I can't recommend this to people. Excellent. So we're done with that. Yay.
Yay.
Usually this is where we play some music, but the thing that we make is us. So you do us. You're the one that like mixes our show and everything like that. So we're not going to play a snippet of the show in the show because this entire thing is a snippet of the show.
But you never know what I'll do in post.
That's true. So, do you want to talk a little bit about what the last 6 months or so has been? I mean, we haven't really filled people in on anything. Is that something you're willing to share?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot to say because I think the last time I was on was as a guest when I was announcing my somewhat departure from the show.
Yep.
Because I'd gotten a new job and working at the Peabody Conservatory ever since.
Impressive. Yeah. Nicely done.
Yep. Doing their live production stuff there. And yeah, then as you alluded earlier, bought a house and built a studio.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I work 4 jobs now. So it's all kind of a blur.
It's 4 jobs. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Got Peabody, the freelancing. I work at a church for broadcast and I'm in a band.
Yeah, that's true. The band's not a job.
4 jobs.
The band is. No.
I know actually to get serious. So every time someone says that to me, I say, well, anyone who doesn't treat their band as if it's a job with the same level of respect and commitment, they're not going to go anywhere with their band.
I agree with that, except that if I were to treat my band, if I had treated my band as if it were a job, I would have quit a long time ago. I'd be like, why are you paying me for all this work? I think it's illegal.
Yeah, the pay is really shit.
Yeah. But no, it definitely a lot of work that goes into a band. And then of course, now standing up a studio. So what is the wheelhouse that you're doing? So obviously there are going to be all of these virtual studios that we're going to be working with, right? Doing different things. Yours in particular, the room that we're looking at right now, I kind of want to like give people a tour knowing that we're just on radio. So like we just move the camera about and be like, look over here. And
close your eyes and count backwards from 6.
Yes.
You are now in a white room. There are panels on the wall.
There's the organ in the back.
Ugly man with a beard and long hair looking at you from the desk wondering how the fuck you just appeared here.
Yes. You can see from the camera view that there's an organ in the room. And behind Adam holding his organ, there's also another organ.
Yep.
So, but yeah, you've got racks full of just crazy equipment. A very nice microphone that you're speaking to us on right now. Paneling that makes it look like you're a real legit human being who's recording things. It's kind of impressive, I have to admit.
Yeah, but still got a little ways to go. But it's for all intents and purposes is up and running, and now it's just like, all the little details to make it look nice.
And what is this going to be? What's going to be your wheelhouse for this particular space?
So I'm setting this space up to be primarily like in the box, so mixing, mastering, editing, post-production, whatever needs to be done. And then I've setting up a space. Either I'm still deciding if I just want to set it up in here or there's another room just outside this one, set up a little space to do, just like simple things like vocals, acoustic instruments, electric guitars, basically everything but drums.
Like an ISO room.
Sort of thing. Just because I do not have the time, money, or desire to try to fully isolate a house for drum kits.
I can understand that.
Because,
yeah. And
no. Because then I'd have to have drummers in my house.
and nobody likes them.
Your insurance rates just go up and up and up once you start bringing in drummers.
So you won't be recording drums here in this studio, but you can mix them and nudge them and auto-tune them, if that's a thing you do. I don't know.
I've got some contacts in other spaces, that have some pretty great drum rooms and good equipment for that. And so it's like, okay, well, why build it when I can just go to my buddy's house and make him do all the technical work while I just produce?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's exciting. And once again, for all of those folks who are listening, if you do happen to do music things, and you're looking for a place to record, and you're looking for a place that does mixing and things like that, reach out to us. Contact at anotherwastedhour.com. We'll pass that on to Adam, and you can let us know if he's terrible or not.
Yep. So if you want your next recording to have the same level of professionalism and quality that this podcast
fucking
does,
shit.
You know who to.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking of this podcast.
We will.
Yeah. Will you be?
We will take your quality expert recordings and replace them with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised.
Will you also be mixing down podcasts? Is that a thing? If other people have podcasts, since you're so good at it?
Yeah, no, I've actually already, when this podcast first got started, if you remember, we actually got contacted by a couple different people wanting, some help getting started, and I ended up fielding a lot of those, and I don't, I sent off a lot of help and some back and forth, so, totally a thing I'm willing to do.
Nice. So there we go. Look at that. You can start your own podcast and sound as horrible as we do. So without further ado, this is brilliant, right? Because you mix down the show. That's your job. So you listen to all of the shows because you have to find out.
Yes, totally.
You listen to all the shows, at least in snippets of it, to make sure that you try and find all the places where we really screw things up and make them better. And so we don't really edit the show so much, but especially if we get way far away from the mics or something, he tries to fix
or if some idiot accidentally record arms the wrong mic.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a solid. That was a good day. So here's the thing: whenever we do this next segment, this is what we like to call "Please God, just get one right." The guest is oblivious to the category that the previous guest has selected. As you know, and listeners hopefully know, our previous guest, the Vibesman, they picked a category. They had a category picked for them, and they had to answer a bunch of quiz questions. I believe that category was virtual reality. I think so. Yep. And then they had to pick a category for our next guest. At the time, we didn't know it was going to be Adam, and I, just in a rush mad to get through the show and having the fun that we were having, totally forgot on air to ask them what their category was, right? Not a huge deal because the show doesn't actually come out until the next show is recorded. So the next guest can't really bone up on whatever it is. But Adam does hear the previous show before the next show is recorded. So when we found out Adam was going to be the guest today, we realized, oh my goodness, he might know the category. And then I realized we did not ask them. So they texted me. They texted me separately the category. So Adam also does not know the category. It worked out perfectly.
It almost makes you look competent.
All right. Almost like we've planned things here. So
in fact, we're going to go back and post and edit out all that stuff about how you screwed up and make it sound like you did this all on purpose.
Right. And then you can edit out all your wrong answers and then edit in your right answers.
Yep.
So you sound awesome. All right. So are you ready for the category that the Vibesman picked for you?
What is it?
Acupuncture.
Oh, Christ.
I knew this was going to be a terrible one.
Acupuncture for the guy who's fucking terrified of needles.
Yes, it's just going to be a segment of hell for you.
Yep.
If you'd like, don't forget Thursday, June 7th, you can actually go visit the Vibesman at the Blestival in Fairplay, Maryland, and punch them in the face for giving you this category.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so acupuncture. Remember also at the end, so we have presents here. So you'll have to come here at some point and select your present. Maybe we'll pick one out blindly for you if you get one, and then you can come get it when you stop by. But here's the so acupuncture's our topic. So let's get started with our questions. You ready?
As ready as I'm going to be.
How confident do you feel?
0.
On a scale from 0 to 1, where 10 is
0.
confident. The belief.
But maybe I'll screw up and get one right.
So this one I think is probably your best shot. This is, I think, the one. If you whiff on this, I think at that point it's probably going to be downhill the rest of the way. The belief in Chinese traditional Chinese medicine. The belief in traditional Chinese medicine is that a life force called qi flows through the human body. Acupuncture accesses and balances the qi. How is qi spelled?
CHI.
Oh, no! That's what I would have thought, too. It is not. It's QI. It's Chinese, so, it's...
Well, that's how it's spelled in the Iron Fist comics, so there.
Well, I'm sure that's probably the source material for reference of spelling.
And I'm sure it is just as culturally respective as any other work about Chinese kung fu that a white man has produced.
Yes, it's probably dead on. All right, this is gonna get harder.
Oh, great.
All right, so qi travels through the body in channels called meridians. The meridians are divided into different categories. How many principal meridians are there? Those are the largest ones. The main ones. Main meridians, the principal meridians.
Let's go with 5.
5. No, 12. There's 12 meridians. Yeah. Everyone knows that.
Of course. Also, how I know that acupuncture might be bullshit because there's no way the Chinese name things meridians.
I'm sure there's a language barrier there. We probably, didn't want to confuse people with the real words. So yeah, that is a fact. There are 12 principal meridians. Make sure you take care of your meridians. You don't want to lose one. Speaking of the principal meridians, because it's going so well. According to traditional Chinese medicine, how many acupuncture points are there along the principal meridians?
Like each one or in total? Total.
I like that you take time to think about it as if it's going to come to you. You're like, oh.
It gives me maybe a general ballpark, right? Because it won't be 5.
That's true because there's more meridians than that.
Exactly.
There'd be meridians missing.
See, there's a method to my madness. Yeah. It's not a good method, but it is a method. Mm-hmm. I don't fucking know. I'm gonna say 10 per, so 120.
120. That at least you went after a method. I liked that. Yeah. It. Yes. No, not even close. 309. As you would expect.
All right, so meridians don't always have the same one. This is bullshit.
It's not bullshit. This is traditional medicine that has worked for thousands of years for people who believe it. And
practiced by people who also believe in crystals.
Maybe. I do know that they did build a wall in a time period where ladders existed. So I don't know how smart they were about all of this. I'm not sure. Here's your next question. In 1973, which U.S. state became the first U.S. state to authorize the professional practice of acupuncture?
What year?
1973.
California.
Oh, good guess. That was a good guess. I'll give you a hint. It's the state that basically lets everything happen first. It's what I
Mississippi.
It's what I like to call the we don't give a shit state.
I don't know.
I'll give another hint. They're in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Nevada.
There you go. Nicely done. I'm not going to count that as an actual answer.
No, I'm not going to count that one either, but
yeah, if you think about it, Nevada is just like, hey, can we gamble here? Sure. Yeah, whatever. How about prostitution? Well, we're in the desert. We don't give a shit. I'm surprised you're here. All right. 2 questions left. 2 questions. A much more modern take on acupuncture. What is the technique called when needles are inserted directly into the skin and muscle at myofascial trigger points? This is actually like medicine that they are seeing scientifically has some effect on things. So this is a technique where they actually take the small needles, but instead of like magic places around the body, they find myofascial trigger points, so places where like muscles tense up and things like that, and they insert it into the skin and then into the muscle. It helps release muscles and things like that.
Jabby McUnhappy therapy.
That's not. That's your best guess so far, though. That makes me really happy. I am proud of you, Adam, that at no point in time have you actually tried to like Google this while sitting here on the show. I was waiting to just hear the audio.
Well, because I got the world's loudest fucking keyboard, so it wouldn't be you'd notice.
Yeah, I was just waiting to hear like it'd be like me asking a question and then just.
Yep.
Like, what are you doing, Adam? Nothing. There's just I'm cleaning my keyboard. No, it is called dry needling. Dry needling, which just makes it sound even more uncomfortable.
Yeah, like no, I don't want anything inserted inside me that hasn't been lubed first.
Noted. All right, last but not least, this isn't looking good for you, Adam.
Nothing looks good for me.
You just need to get one right, and so far that is not happening. What is the name for the type of acupuncture for wussies where colored lights are shined on the acupuncture points rather than needles being inserted into the skin? This is what I like to call Adam acupuncture.
Wait, that's an actual thing?
Yeah. So instead of putting tiny needles into these acupuncture points, they actually just shine lights at the points and then say, this helps.
Is it called I can't believe you fell for this bullshit light therapy?
It is not. The name for this, I think, is amazingly ironic, right? The name is color puncture. There's no puncturing happening.
God.
Like, well, the light's like getting in there. It's like it's getting probably not very far. I'm just gonna go ahead and guess that
like I said, these are the same people that believe that crystals will solve all your problems.
Maybe so. Well, they do solve a lot of your problems if your problems happen to be not having a lot of money and the crystals happen to be gems. So
yeah.
There's some validity to it. All right. I don't know how to break this to you, Adam. We just needed you to get one right. That was it. And you failed us. You failed us miserably. So
now we can let the audience believe that this isn't rigged because obviously the host got one wrong. Didn't get one right.
Yeah,
obviously it's not rigged, and now we can rig the rest of them.
That from now on, it's all rigged. All right, so here's the one thing you can get right. If you just reach deep inside and you feel just that humiliation and that depression that's setting in, that there's abject horror of being such a failure at this particular segment in front of the entire audience that is listening. If you just tap into that, you could give us a category that maybe would pass on that same suffering on to our next guest. So what is that category, Adam?
So it's something that I've been studying a lot of lately and trying to build out this studio.
Okay, yeah.
Acoustics.
Acoustics. All right. I might make you write all of these now that you're going to be the guest. Or
that is fine.
You're going to be the guest host. you're going to know more about acoustics than I will. I'll be like, this is a type of guitar. All right, so listen next week as next week's guest valiantly attempts to get just one right when they are faced with 6 questions dealing with acoustics. All right, so that is it. That is just an abject failure, but you had some really good answers in there. So I didn't do our pre-interview to find out what your stories were, but I hope that you prepared a couple of stories.
I hope I did too.
You hope you did too. The show was a little last minute, so take a moment and think about it. I'm going to play our stinger here, but this is a segment called Near and Far. So we're going to get 2 stories, one near, one far.
Far! See, that's what it's all about. I understand.
You understand. You've heard this thousands of times, even though we've had less. We've only had like 100 episodes. So do you have a near and far story? Would you like to start with one of those?
So just going off the cuff, I'll start with a near story because this is something that actually happened yesterday.
I mean, you do know that this was happening, right? Like you weren't completely caught off guard by this fact. So near.
No, I'm just not a very clever man.
So, all right. So near, what do you have for near?
Near. So, people who have listened to the show previously may remember that, I'm in a band called Second Guard.
That's true.
Folk metal band out of Baltimore.
Fact.
Well, so yesterday we had a practice. We're gearing up for a festival we're throwing in August, which you might hear me talk about a little bit more in depth in the future. Yeah. But also, as anyone on the East Coast knows, it's been raining a lot.
Yeah,
lately.
In one of the episodes, we talked about how my basement just became an entire swimming pool because of that. So yeah, lots of rain.
Yep. So I don't think we've seen the sun in like a week and a half up here. So we all show up to find out that apparently the basement where all of our gear was had flooded. And according to where the wood started to swell on one guy's amp, there's probably about 5.5 inches of water in a room full of drum kits and amplifiers. Yeah.
Oh no.
So that was my night last night, and just opening up a pedal board case to dump out about 4 cups of water and
now,
ricing pedals. And
I am not an electrolysis expert, if that's what that is, but I'm pretty.
That's totally the word you were looking for.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that is not good for electronics.
No, but even worse, our guitar player Dan was trying to carry his 4x12 out, and it's a compact 4x12. It's like I think it's a B52.
Yeah.
It's an acoustic brand.
What is a 4x2?
So guitar players out there.
There are people.
4x12.
Yeah, 4x12.
Big wooden cabinet with 4 12-inch speakers.
Okay,
in it.
so like an amplifier.
Guitar. Yeah. Well, it's not the amplifier. It's just the speakers at a separate amplifier.
Sure, but for all the people who have no idea what you're talking about, it's basically an amplifier. That's what they're.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It's the thing that makes lots of noise when you put an amplifier in it.
But other guitar players listening may know right away that so it's a acoustic 4x12, so it's really small. It's supposed to be really lightweight, perfect for taking in and out of the back of your car.
Yeah, gigging around, so you're not like breaking your back every time you go into a venue. Yeah.
Unless it's full of water.
Oh no! Was it?
So poor Dan is trying to carry this thing up a flight of stairs and then down a flight of stairs again to get out to his car, and the thing weighs about 8 times as much as it should. And Dan is a skinny little fuck.
Was it like full of water that you could pour out, or was it like waterlogged?
Oh yeah, both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I picked up I had a little practice Hartke bass amp. There, it's like a little single speaker combo guy, and it has a sound hole in the back, and I had to pick it up to get it over top some stuff to get up the stairs, and just immediately drenched myself with a torrent of water that poured out of the back of this thing.
So did anything die? I mean, is everything all right?
So everything seems to have miraculously survived so far.
I'm just trying to imagine the amount of rice that you had to have to put those amps in it.
I don't know about that. I still don't know what I'm going to do with my amp because it doesn't open. Like there's no way to like open it up or whatever without completely destroying it.
Really?
So,
it's like completely sealed.
It's completely sealed, like and then it was sealed up, and then had the fabric covering put over the outside to cover up all the joints.
Yeah.
So I'd have to cut all the fabric off the outside of my amp to open it up again, and I don't want to do that.
If the speaker blows on your amp, you literally have to destroy your amp in order to fix your amp. That's
pretty much.
That is a bad design.
Did I mentioned it was like just a cheapo like combo thing that I use for practice.
It's disposable. They made it disposable. That's the issue. They're like, if anything goes wrong, just toss this, buy a new one because you cannot fix it. That's crazy. Has this happened?
It is built. It's built like a tank, but it's about as easy to take apart as a tank.
Has this happened before in your practice space? Like, is it the first time it's ever
first time?
Really? So that much rain it's the first time that it's actually done this. So that's crazy. That's why we have that down here. I mean, we had a dry basement for like 10 years, and then for some reason, just the sheer amount of water has now snuck up into the like groundwater reached such a height that it came in like through the main water pipe, like around it. So now we have to pay people to like fix that, and because apparently,
or just keep the pool.
Yeah, or just keep the pool. You should see it. It's just we made a channel with like with like bricks and like just anything we could find and like tarps and stuff. It's insane looking. It's totally unusable. All right. So how about FAR? Do you have anything that you can share with us about FAR? I mean, you are far from us now because you're up in Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm so far away.
And we record down here in Fairfax County in Reston. So you are not a short drive from us. You used to be, and now you're gone.
Yep, so far away.
Yes. So what is...
Keep vamping so I can think.
I know that you'll be back down here, that you have all types of things. Have you shared about the sweatening? Is that on the show? Have we done that?
I don't think I have done the sweatening.
Because
I was trying to think of things like professionally related or related to the band and whatnot that I hadn't talked about before. But no, the sweatening is not a thing we've mentioned before.
I think that might be worth it because that is far away. And so tell us what this is, because this is pretty unique for you and your friends. So what happens at the sweatening? When is it? It's coming up soon, isn't it?
So no, it's a yearly Christmas party.
Oh, okay, it's in Christmas.
That some college friends throw down in South Carolina every year, and pretty much, as the name might imply, you have to show up in the ugliest, tackiest, worst Christmas attire you can find or make.
Right. So basically, ugly sweater times 10.
Pretty much. And we've had people take it far and beyond. We've had stuff with, people like make their own and wrap it in lights and the whole shit and all that. But then what it really ends up being is the guy who runs it's got a smoker the size of a small submarine.
Oh my goodness.
And we wake up early, we start drinking early, and we just smoke like several pounds of pork and sausage and chicken and everything else, and it's awesome. So
you not only are you wearing sweaters, but you're also getting the meat sweats. Is that how that
pretty much, yeah. By the end of the night, you are just full of sweat and pork, and it's just you're the grossest human being alive.
Well, at some point in time we're gonna have to do like the North version of that. We'll get everybody to come up here like during Halloween or something. And
I did try it a couple years back, and it ended up just being me and Justin Rogers sitting at my table playing a copy of Trivial Pursuit from before the fall of the Soviet Union.
I think we were there for something like that for the holidays, and we made up a 12 Days of Christmas tune.
Yeah, so, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe again next time. Oh, we're out of time, Adam. That's great.
Yo, no.
The good news is we'll have plenty of time because you're joining us for the rest of the summer. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Other things happening this week. Thursday, June 14th, Backbeat Underground at Gypsy Sally's in Washington, D.C. Friday, June 15th, Camille Miller at /Run in D.C. The Yellow Tie Guy at Metropolitan Kitchen in Annapolis, Maryland. Sunday, June 17th, the Yellow Tie Guy at the Lighthouse Dock Bar in Solomons, Maryland. And Monday, June 18th, Pyramid Scheme at Galaxy Hut in Arlington, Virginia. And don't forget, Tuesday, June 19th, Mary Jo Mayetta at Mark's Cafe in DC. Please like our posts, follow us, retweet us, share the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Don't forget to review us on Facebook, iTunes, and Google Play. Thanks to Kevin Evinger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, Figmental Records, Alchemical Records, and all the other contributors. Most of all, thanks to Engineer Adams for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another wasted hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.
And I'll see you next week!